Well, here we are. After 2 pilots, scene selection is now greenlit for a full series. Yay! We have new assets, more submissions than ever, and more creative freedom for the team members that do submit. This is gonna be good. We plan to release a new episode on the final day of every single month with a new and interesting topic that lets you get to know a little bit more about the team members of Crossover X. Maybe you'll find something that we have in common, or we'll introduce you to something new. Either way, it's going to be fun. Today's topic is a good one, our most wanted characters for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. With the reveal of Final Fantasy Sephiroth, there's now only 3 fighters left in the second Fighter's Pass, unless Sakurai decides to reveal someone else between the 16th and 31st of this month. Then there'd only be 2 left, so it's either now or never. So before we get to the rest of the team, who do I want? And honestly, if you know me, it's no surprise. Crash Bandicoot. I won't go into too much detail though, because there's actually someone else I want to talk about. But if you go to my channel, it would not be hard to find out why I want Crash in Smash and all the different cool things he could do beyond just spinning. Aside from Sonic the Hedgehog, Crash Bandicoot was the only other video game franchise to match up with Mario in his 90s prime, and even surpass him at one point. And although he's an unofficial PlayStation mascot, he still has plenty of history on Nintendo consoles. Especially recently, with the Insane trilogy doing really well on the Switch and Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled recently having a free trial. I wonder if that's some kind of sign. But enough history lessons. Who else did I have in mind? Travis Touchdown. Now, I've always been up for this character in Smash, simply because it would make a couple of my friends really happy, even if I wasn't too into another sword guy. But after finally getting to experience his games firsthand this month, I can totally see why my friends wanted him so bad, because now I do too. His beam katana is so much more than just a reskinned sword. There's a lot you could do with his charging mechanic, the death blows, and of course the slot machines. He'd have the fun and turny breaking RNG of Hero, the limit breaking of Cloud, and the style and speed of Marth. All while maintaining his slightly toned down for the kiddos but still very rude and vulgar personality. I know, he had a Mii costume in this very Fighter's Pass that we're in right now. And I'm not gonna bring up the typical flimsy Chrom, K-Rool, and Isabelle Mii outfit arguments since those were in Smash 4. But Sakurai has broken a ton of fan rules already, especially with Min breaking the Spirit fan rule. So fingers crossed that Travis Touchdown, or Heihachi Mishima from Tekken, can break the Mii costume fan rule if there's another Fighter's Pass.
Talking about most wanted Super Smash Bros. Character, I already got mine. Mine is Steve from Minecraft, and the reason for this was I've been playing since 1.7 beta of Minecraft, and that game legit changed my life. So when I saw a Steve concept art for Smash Bros. About 2 years ago or so, I could not be more hyped. There was not a single character I wanted more than him, besides maybe Naruto Goku or the Tetris block, and the Tetris block is a whole nother thing. Steve encapsulated everything I loved about Minecraft upon release. Everything minus the exclusion of the bow and arrow, which I don't know why they didn't include, but almost everything about the character was just perfect in my eyes. The inclusion of crafting, which I thought was genius, upgradable pickaxes and tools and such, how they included it into every move. Everything about it was just flat out amazing, and I love it so much. And I believe Steve is one of the most creative and well-deserved character slots on Super Smash Bros.'s roster. So much so that I did this. If we wanna talk about the most wanted, I've been on top. I already got it, that'd be easy logic. Steve is on the topic, he been making numbers since he was an novice. Pixelated activation was amazing, took the nation to a higher level. Most sold game of all time, half the roster couldn't make 11th. This axe isn't 4 trees, build a fortress, that hit save. This blade creeping on you, one hit, take you out, then I'll upgrade. Pickaxe, have you 6 feet under, then you're trying to go and find another cave. This spade make your brain fuzzy, drop a body, then I go and dig your grave. That ain't it, what I'm setting off. Steve slays more than Sephiroth. Honestly, this how it seems to be. Have you Smash Bros eating TNT? Keep the greatest edition of all time to the Smash Bros, not a clickbait line. This game tried no friends though. Steve slays more than Nintendo, yeah.
I mean, you can probably take a guess.
Objection!
Yeah, if you know anything at all about me, even if it's just my username, you could have probably guessed that Phoenix Wright from MisfortuneDarkrai is my most wanted Smash Bros. DLC fighter. I have other characters I would also like to see, like Shantae and the Knight from Hollow Knight, but they're more likely to get into something like fray makers over Smash. So I'm prioritizing good ol' Nick here for the purposes of the video. I know Capcom already has more reps in modern Smash than any other third party, but I think Wright is unique enough to justify being included in the roster, both in terms of his home series and his character potential. Ace Attorney's genre is a little harder to specify than those of other Smash contenders, but I think it's most aptly described as a legal drama / mystery / visual novel type deal. And amongst Smash's multitude of platformers, RPGs, and traditional fighters, the content and representation it would bring to the table would definitely stand out. And that's not even talking about Wright himself, who would inevitably have a moveset unlike any other fighter thus far. We already got a taste of what he could look like as a fighter thanks to Marvel vs. Capcom, but you don't even need to stick to that to come up with moves and gimmicks for him. Just to draw on some of my own ideas for what Phoenix's Smash moves could be like, he could have a combo emphasizing Magatama effect instead of an evidence-based turnabout mode, and his classic bluffing along with evidence in the court record can make him dangerously capable of neutering zoners while having projectile game of his own. His F-Smash could cycle through his hold it, take that, and objection speech bubbles like how Peach's F-Smash cycles through weapons, and he could make use of his courtroom motions, trial evidence, and even the attorney's bench itself in his other moves. His alternate costumes could make use of the color schemes of other Ace Attorney characters like Edgeworth and Maya, and his home stage, more than likely being a courtroom obviously, could have fighters duking it out on the witness bench while a full-blown trial takes place in the background. Oh, and consider this if you hadn't already. Ace Attorney music in Super Smash Bros. Do you understand how much money I would throw at Nintendo for the chance to have fights with pursuit themes like Lying Coldly, Casting Magic, Keep Pressing On, and especially the classic Cornered playing in the background? The answer, my friends? All of my money. And that about covers all the reasons I think Wright would be cool to have in Smash Bros. And now if you'll excuse me, I'll wait until the next non-existent Nintendo Direct for them to announce the Fire Emblem Heroes cast as a combined fighter, whereupon I will leap into the stratosphere to escape this mortal coil.
Okay, I'll be honest. Despite this being my most wanted character for Smash, I have little to no expectations on this character making it. Trust me when I say that this is probably the most oddball pick in the video. That being all said, I want a character from the Dance Dance Revolution series to be in Smash.
You serious?
Now, I know what some of you are thinking. Really? You'll want a guy from the game where all you do is step on arrows to Eurobeats and J-pop songs? Why not a character like Sora, or Crash, or Dante, or Man Ray? Well, first of all, for a series that's seen as a celebration of gaming to many fans, it still shocks me we have yet to see a character from a rhythm game. And no, I'm not talking about those wave the Wii remote and you win rhythm games like Just Dance. I'm talking perfect timing, fast-paced, sweat-inducing, arcade-style rhythm games that'll leave you saying one more try after missing just one note. Games like Osu, Hatsune Miku Project Diva, Taiko no Tatsujin, and many more. Even Nintendo's own Rhythm Heaven series falls into this category. Yet, of all these series, I feel like Dance Dance Revolution, while not being the first of its kind or even nowadays the best option for an arcade-style rhythm game, was the one that helped shape the genre into what it is today and helped bring the genre to a worldwide audience. I feel a lot of people seem to forget just how big this series was in the late 90s and early 2000s. It was in arcades and malls everywhere, it was referenced in so many pieces of media from movies and television, it had so many games released even as recently as 2020 with DDR8 20+, and a ton of spin-offs including God knows how many with Disney characters. And yes, even Mario himself got on the DDR hype train with the GameCube exclusive DDR Mario mix. This series was near unavoidable in the mid-2000s, man. Now as for who would rep this series, well, surprisingly, there's a lot of characters to choose from, but to me, the most likely choices are these guys. Afro, who's been in pretty much every game since day one, and is seen by many as the poster boy of the entire franchise. Emmy or Uni, who are fan favorites and have been in nearly every game since their first appearance, with the latter even making a cameo in Disney's Wreck-It Ralph. And lastly, there's Rinon, who's lately been seen as the poster girl of the modern DDR game since first appearing in X2. On top of being a character that Konami and Bimani have been pushing a lot lately, look, she's even been turned into a marketable plushie. As for how they would play, I would imagine for stuff like normals and smash attacks, they would use moves based on the rhythmic martial art known as capoeira, which is a fighting style that basically combines traditional martial arts with dancing. You may have seen this style used by characters like Eddie from Tekken or Elena from Street Fighter. A rhythmic fighting style like capoeira for a character that's all about dancing would make too much sense and would be unique to Smash as a whole. Along with that, I could see the specials relying on timing to determine their strength and speed. Standard special can launch an arrow, side could basically be like Marth's dancing blade just with breakdancing-like moves, down could be a reflector screen appearing in front of the character in reference to one of Bimani's other games, Reflect Beat, and many more like that. All in all, while we're probably not going to get a DDR rep in Smash at this point, the idea in general sounds like it would be a wild and fun addition to the series, with the possibility of a unique moveset, references to DDR and many other Bimani games, maybe even a trailer that references DDR Mario mix starting with Mario and Bowser in a dance-off, and oh boy, I haven't even mentioned the music that could come with this character. If I could hear songs like Beat For You, Paranoia, Over the Period, and many other top-tier Konami originals while playing Smash, God, that would make me so happy. It may be unlikely, but a DDR rep would absolutely be a great addition to Smash.
Now, I could write an entire essay on this subject, but that would make this video take 2 hours, and nobody wants to hear me ramble for 2 hours, so I'll try and keep this as brief as possible. Smash is home to countless of amazing characters coming from all different corners of the gaming industry. However, we haven't had a single indie character as a main playable fighter yet. Thus, I'm putting forward one of the largest indie game characters ever, that is yet to be represented in some form, Reimu Hakurei. Touhou has had 28 games in total, with the 29th coming out soon, with Reimu starring in every one of them, except for View. Generally, these games are scrolling bullet hells, which would lead you to believe there is nothing you can pull from to make an interesting moveset for Reimu. Lucky for you, 6 of these 28 games are fighting games, and the 29th game is a platformer. These give Reimu a massive library of moves that can visualize what she does in the bullet hells and turns them into functional moves for a fighter. Heck, there are multiple playable Reimus in the Rivals of Ether Workshop, and they're all amazing. Touhou is one of the most successful indies out there, spawning an entire multimedia franchise. This franchise dominates every convention it is involved in Japan anyway, and has an entire convention dedicated to it to try and keep the series from dominating those other conventions. In China, Touhou required one of the largest venues in the same event as Microsoft, Sony, and Blizzard, and even that wasn't enough. The series has spawned countless viral songs which would be right at home in Smash, and has an active community constantly making content for it. Touhou has influenced many pieces of media and a certain indie game. I don't know if you've heard of it, I think it's called Undertale? And this is only the tip of the iceberg. Touhou would bring many unique and fun spirit battles to the game, and so many amazing tracks. You think King of Fighters gave a lot of tracks to Smash? Imagine how many Touhou will bring with its nearly 600 track selection, with all of those songs. Slap, of course. And if we include fan-made music that has become part of this franchise's identity, we have too many to count as options. I would love to keep going, but other people need the spotlight too, so I'll be passing the stage to someone else.
Alright, so one thing I want to get off the bat before we begin here. When it comes to Smash newcomer discussions, I'm kind of a normie. What I mean by that is, for Ultimate's DLC so far, the characters I've had the most investment in at the time of their reveal were Banjo and Kazooie and Min Min. Yeah, really. That's not to say I wasn't interested in the bigger names or the more major curveballs, but even though it seems like really anyone can join Smash at this point, I tend to fall more in line with the safer bets when it comes to predictions. Though thankfully this isn't about likeliness, and nowhere was it said that this explicitly had to be for DLC anyway. So I decided I'm going to cover both a first-party character I want and a third-party one, just to cover both bases. For my first-party pick, my most wanted newcomer is a fourth Kirby character. No one specific in mind, really, though. Some people have voiced their grievances with how Kirby is represented in Smash, most notably how most of the content is from the Sakurai-developed games. And while I don't think it's as big of a problem as other people do, I will admit it is kind of annoying how the scale clearly tips to one side here. And sure, we do have the quintessential Kirby trio, but that's just scratching the surface of how many characters this series has, and how many potential unique movesets it can offer. Like I said, I don't really care who it is at this point, but if I have to pick someone, I guess I consider Bandana Waddle to be the frontrunner. I know he's not exactly the most exciting pick, but I do think he makes a lot of sense. I mean, ever since Return to Dreamland, he's been becoming more and more of a main character. And for my third-party pick, the only character I'm really rooting for at this point is Crash Bandicoot. Now, I'm assuming Leo already covered Crash in his segment, so I'll keep this one shorter to avoid redundancy. But to hopefully expand on it, my main reason for wanting Crash is because I think we're long overdue for a wacky character. I feel like we haven't really had a character like that since Wario back in Brawl, but unlike him, Crash is a character you could do that with while still keeping him true to his source games. For those who don't know, Crash was heavily influenced by classic Golden Era cartoons like the Looney Tunes, and his games have a more comedic and slapsticky tone to them as a result. So if Crash does get in Smash, that's an aspect I want them to lean in on. You know, like really exaggerate the squash and stretch when he gets hit, and have his shoes fly up when he gets KO'd. Heck, just give him a move like Hero's Kamikaze, except he blows himself up with a nitro crate. I don't know, I'm just spitballing here. But yeah, I think Crash would just be a good fit for Smash Bros, especially since his chaotic and frantic energy would fit right in with the general gameplay. And there you go, those are probably my big two wants at the moment. So I'll just pass this on to whoever the next guy is. Peace out everybody, and take a shower.
There's a ton of characters I'd personally love to see in Smash, but I'll keep it brief.
This is the way the world ends.
Release the Chief. Master Chief.
Well, I don't know, Pichu. What do you say to that?
I like guns!
Nah, but seriously, Master Chief would be so dope. I know there's arguments and points against him, but let's keep it real. Smash has already broken enough barriers and fan rules to a point where it's just not impossible to see him included anymore. Yes, we have Banjo and Steve as Microsoft-owned characters that are in the game already, but those guys were technically never original to Microsoft. Granted, Halo itself wasn't intended to be a launch title for Xbox, but lo and behold, it became that, and the series as a whole has become one of the most successful first-person shooters in the genre ever conceived. I know some would prefer Doom Guy, he'd be dope too, but if we had to pick just one, John117 would be my ideal choice. The official Halo Twitter account has already said their piece on wanting him in, Microsoft and Nintendo are on good terms. Heck, this guy is duking it out with Kratos in friggin' Fortnite. There's a good chance we might not see him in this Fighter's Pass, but in my opinion, he's not out of the realm of possibility for future outings. Although if he is in this Fighter's Pass, make him the final character just to have this in the trailer.
Master Chief, you mind telling me what you're doing on that ship?
Sir, finishing this fight.